what's up? It is kind of shocking when I stay up late and seeing this thing about Sony and the falling down of Japanese companies, falling from grace. Well, this seems to be called something that I called the American Revolution of the Japanese industry. I don't know about Yuryu Tariyama, and I've seen some issues, but even though I made videos of the issues of free trade with Japan, known as the JAFTA, I think you have to settle up to write to your prime minister about JAFTA, it is because it is something with this JAFTA ideas that I have. Well, seem more likely that as it is in the US as the rest of the world, same thing we going out the recalls of Toyota vehicles, the Apple stuff. And then one thing I heard of a survey of some article about which company is more innovative. In Japan, I was shocked that everybody said Apple. Apple? Yes, the iPod, the iPhone, all this. This is more like a close call that it is, American companies, American ingenuity, but what are American manufacturing? Not supposedly likely to be American manufacturing. What it is of efforts to see is that falling off from there, it happened before. It did happen before with the video format, when RCA beat Sony in their videotape system. VHS fade out Betamax. Now the Blu-ray is off the charts. Blu-ray is the format right now for video, even though you have computers and HDMI cables and stuff. Yeah, even though there is something to say, I'm saying that if Teriyama is the spoken samurai of the 21st century, I'll be the spoken cowboy of the 21st century. Yeah, cowboy, because that's what America have been known of its own warriors. The cowboy. Yeah, that's what I might testify with those JAFTA videos as the spoken cowboy. Well, what it is that it is not that American companies shouldn't sell more American products to Japan, but also giving jobs. It is just like said, even though Korean competitors like LG, Samsung, Hyundai, as saying about this, as what it once was the dominance of Japan. Dominance of Japan, that means when Japan in its heyday used to dominate in everything. It seems that what it is now is what Sony has outdone to RCA is what Vizio will have done to Sony nowadays. I have seen those Vizio TVs. They're pretty cheap. I mean, pretty affordable, and they are as good as the Sony or better. It's like saying Vizio is outselling Sony here in the States. It is even though there's a company called Element that are making TVs in the United States, Vizio should focus on making TVs in the United States. And then that way it's not just to sell it here in America, but to also sell it in Japan. This is more like not just like a curse at the same time, but in favor of what it is of the American revolution of the Japanese industry seems that, hey, there seems something that I'm gonna see, or am I saying that Japanese consumers are very savvy about things, and what it is of if the USA is trustworthy, selling Vizio TVs in Japan. I want to say, oh yeah, Vizio's #1 in Japan. That just putting enough of a distributor and all that stuff. Yeah. And the same thing is this concept of here in the United States it is if you want to support your country, buy American, buy made in America, buy made in the USA. Yes, that's the concept, and that's what it is. You know, does Apple make their iPods in the US? No. Or did they make their iPhones in the US? No. You know, each time it is as the assembling of Chinese assembly using Japanese parts. You know, that's what it is. It's like, you know, Samsung has done it too, even though it's a Korean competitor. You know, it is the competitor of LG in South Korea. You know, we have free trade with South Korea. Things that I think that American companies should have done of ingenuity of this revolution that has happened to this, starting with Apple, even though Apple don't make their products in the United States anymore. But hopefully, I hope they do. You know, it's an American company. So there's the catch. The catch is, if any U.S. company could enter and have dominance over a Japanese company, as what it is, if I'm telling you, the best-selling brand in America is an American car company. You know, you heard of the Mustang. You have the Ford Mustang, the Ford F-150. Well, it is the Ford Motor Company. You know, this could be more like a plan that is that they don't only make cars and vehicles in the United States, but also in other countries. It is like more like this call of this Toyota recall of all the brakes messing up and all that stuff. Yeah, this is more like the revolution talking to you in there, is that there's so many recalls of Toyota vehicles and so many things with the brakes, and then this is where it goes to a U.S. company like the Ford Motor Company. Their best factory has been closed since 2011. Yeah, since 2011. It wasn't even located in the United States. It was in Canada. You know, that is like saying, it's kind of strange. It does not happen in Japan very much, but the best Ford factory out of the Ford Motor Company that I think, to my beliefs, was the best performer to meet car exports. Like, let's say if they make a particular model to meet Japan standards, is located in Canada. It's called the St. Thomas plant. You know, this St. Thomas plant has been closed because of the decision. It's not like I'm saying they should even just consider, in my opinion, not to be jerks on the American worker. To my opinion, it was better off for them to close Flat Rock, Michigan, and better off for saying to export expertise of improving quality to meet Japanese exports is to move production of the Ford Mustang to St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. But instead, they just closed the factory, and it has kept it in. Just kept other vehicles being built in America, but you know, that's it. You know, it is like you know, things go that way. Maybe the CEO wasn't a Japanese guy. If it was a Japanese guy, then the Mustang has already been built in Canada already, replacing the Crown Victoria and the town car with the Mustang. And you could add Fusions and Mazda 6 instead of taking it production to Japan. They could go next door to Canada. You know, that's it. You know, it'll be suck for flat rock workers giving out pink slips, but you know, I think that's how I view it. If a Japanese person takes control of the Ford Motor Company, you know, then it is like once and for all. If things could go by and I could see this. I just drew a design of what it is. You know, I heard so many things. Okay, Samsung Galaxy phones are too delicate to drop. You know, Apple iPhone 5 has this glitches or something or whatever. You know, it is that once you say of American ingenuity, or let's say American brand, or the revolution of American industry, it is like, hey, there is somebody else, another company besides Apple. There's another phone besides the iPhone. But you know, this is how it is. You know, I'm holding this phone, but this is how it is. This is just my camera for vlogging. You know, I could take it anywhere, but that's how things could change. For example, just imagine this: every industry, whatever it is, you know, big, heavy semi-truck industry, it belongs to American brands. You know, this is where it is about a truck design called the Phoenix. What is the Phoenix? Well, this is what it is. It's like an international collaboration with Kawasaki. You know, even though they might make it here in America or not make it in America, maybe to our neighbors to the north, at a former Ford factory that they closed. But you know, what it is like a semi-truck. Could be about Navistar and Kawasaki has going to making a plant in Fukuoka. There it is. That's it. The Phoenix semi-truck. You know, they might say international is an American brand, but if it's made by a Japanese company, it's kind of like, you know, like getting into the sort of, even though that's what the Jap thing is, it's like getting into the sort of like, you know, okay, this is where I get caught. Well, I'm buying it. It's like kind of like, oh yeah, I might just get this international Phoenix. It is like saying the Japan's mentality of buy American. You know, another thing of Japan's mentality to buy American, it could be with the phones. I know what it is. I just designed a phone that's called the Motorola Star. What is the Motorola Star? It is a phone that use Android's ice cream sandwich, you know, version of Android OS, sandwich OS system, and it has all the goodies. The processor chip is a Panabolt. You know, Panabolt, if you know heard of it, this is where I go to the answer. This is where I go up to the simplest questions of what is the mentality, even though if it's an American company, the mentality of Japan's version of Buy American. You know, it is developed by Intel and made by Panasonic. And then this is where it is. The phone is made by Panasonic. I call it a Motorola Star. It's developed by Motorola, you know, but it's actually made at the Panasonic facility, you know, the Panasonic, you know, Fukuoka facility. It is a phone that is flat, like it is as thick as 8 playing cards, but you know, it is as big as that. But you know, this is what it is, and this is all what it means about the Star. It's called the Star, Motorola Star. You see that? It look like I don't know what they call it in Japanese. Or like those stars, like the ninjas use, like the throwing stars. It is Panabolt. You know, it says developed by Intel, made by Panasonic. Uses Ice Cream OS. And this is how the Motorola Star looks like. Features, alright, it has a Leica lens. Well, it's 99% made in Japan because Leica is German. You know, we have to have the best product in the market to do it. You know, Leica is one of the best lens that, you know, that it will, you know, dumps the competition. Even though I love Japan, but Germany makes a better product when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, this says developed by Motorola, made by Panasonic. And look at these features. Yeah, it features remote control, a radio tuner, you know, touchless screen like the S4. TI sharpness. That means TI sharpness is like this sharpness development of Texas Instruments. They make calculators. It's just a feature that it has a sharper screen. Flashlight app included. And of course, what it is, made in Japan, is what is the mentality of the Japanese mentality of Buy American. It is that this phone, the Star phone, should be sold in Japan first. It will be made in Japan because of what is this kind of mentality. This is what it is about the JAFTA idea, because it's the best idea I have ever thought, and nobody has written the petition. You know, that petition is just like a need, not just for getting the high-speed train based on Shinkansen technology that came all the way from Japan, but also for American companies to open the industry in Japan. You know, open up jobs in Japan, even though Japanese companies come here, and then it's like it's a free-for-all. You know, it's a win-and-win situation in this kind of creating jobs in America and creating jobs in Japan. That's why that is. That's what it is about the development of the Motorola Star. You know, it has no glitches, it's very resistant, and you know, and when you drop it, you know, it's not like the Samsung. It's more resistant. It's as resistant as the iPhone 5, but you know, it has all those functionalities and all these goodies and all the bells and whistles what other smartphones do have. You know, but it's even powered, and it is what it is. It is like the concept of what it is of the Japanese version of Buy American. That's what it is. In other facts of the American Revolution in there. So we have Be It, you know, and you heard of this. This is just one of the 4 models that I think they shouldn't be in replace to have the runs for its money, right? No, Crown Victoria since in the 1950s it was made in America. But then after that, after the 1985, 1984 model year, and there was, you know, when they carried the LTD nameplate, they sent production to Canada. until 2011 when they closed it. Lincoln Town Car, I'm gonna really miss the Lincoln Town Car. It's a very nice car to look at. It's a very nice limousine, even though they made it in Canada at the end. That's why they closed the factory. And then this is what it is. It's not gonna be, it's too late to bring it back, the Town Car, but now you could bring back the Continental. And this is where it's kind of envy everywhere. We're seeing a Lincoln being built in Australia. Yeah, this is where it goes of the returning of the Crown Victoria. It is like this. For like say Ford in Europe, it's like what they have done with this phone is like saying Motorola will get this phone in Japan first, is what Ford has done to get some cars in Europe first, or Australia. Battery low, but at the end, what it is that this Crown Victoria that everybody says that is going to be sold in Japan first. It will be brought all the way from Australia. It would, even though in Australia they sell like a Falcon, but it will be sold like, especially for the Japanese market first, only to prevent the recalls of their own Toyota brand of even though in the police patrol industry using police cars, Toyota Crown police cars or other Crown vehicles, just for a matter of fact that it might be the best selling car in Japan. It might be the car of the year in Japan if it comes out like a Crown Victoria. For you Australians who are faithfully with the Falcon, but the brand is American. You know, it's based in Dearborn, Michigan. That's what it is. And everything else, I think the JAFTA and American companies being present in Japan, even to have jobs in Japan, to include look into the moral start, is that the younger generation of Japanese folks tend to be a bit of open to accept things, and this is what it is, especially when it comes to stuff like Apple and things like, okay, I would like to buy a Crown Victoria car or a Ford Mustang. Well, the Crown Victoria for Australians who need to be known as a Falcon. But this is what it is that things go like a little bit of twist of a little bit of things, but a little bit of twist of things that I'll show you is that, well, it's time for that I think free trade agreement with Japan, between the United States and Japan. But even though American companies are present, even making stuff outside the United States sold in Japan made by American companies could be more of the common. But also that could include like Motorola, for example, making phones in Japan at the Panasonic plant in Fukuoka, or International Navistar, like former company called Kawasaki Navistar, making Phoenix semi-trucks. Same thing with everything else. Same thing with this. And this is like where it goes up to, everybody loves motorcycles and they love to see, for me, myself, I do respect them. I don't mind if it had like Ducatis or the Japanese motorcycles, especially the Ninjas and all that stuff. This is where it is, where I think where Harley Davidson lack is that they cut off the Buell brand. Buell's by itself. Eric Buell's by itself. What it is they need to hire an Italian engineer, somebody from Ferrari. Ferrari has won so many races in Formula 1. Why not winning in moto? That means the Harley Davidson name on the line. A sports bike or a crouch rocket called a Greyhound. I know I never designed it yet, but it would be a good alternative of motorcycle that if it's equipped and made by Harley Davidson, but if it's equipped with Ferrari technology development, it will blow the Hayabusa away. You know, even though love for Japan is so, but it will blow the Hayabusa. It will make the Hayabusa eat dirt. In other words, to all this respect, the respect of this, there is so many things that I think they gotta focus more on what it is. I encourage to American companies and also the government, both the US and Japan, to do a free trade agreement so we can have jobs in America and create jobs in Japan, in both countries. You know, not to do free trade agreements that could suffer both countries, that could suffer just here or over there. But you know, it is like the best choice, and I think it is the best thing to deal with the JAFTA. So we could have another American company to just outbeat outbeat the Apple, and you know, have fierce competition with Samsung for its money. You know, that's what it is. Like the Star right here, the Motorola Star, made by Panasonic, made in Japan. That's how it has all the cool features, include a TV, to include a radio. You know, that's awesome. So what it is that well, for a matter of fact, is like the petition of the JAFTA, Japan Free Trade Agreement, could go in process. Vizio, on the other hand, has to like make TVs not in America, but not just working around with the company that makes the Element TVs. That those TVs could be for export to Japan, and this is more like like to start a revolution in there. The American revolution of the Japanese industry. And I know you love this video and everything else, because I think it is time to see what it is. No hate on Korea, but you know, I think what it is. It may be true that I might say this. If the Ford Motor Company makes a factory in Japan, and you have Chevrolet, I think a Ford that is built in Japan will outlast in durability on a Chevrolet that is built in Korea. Not to say that, I might think it's just my opinion about this, and it sounds true to me, you know, because I think that I'm saying to move up in the ladder and have everything in set and in check, because I think it is time to do this kind of thing. So, peace out, write me any comments, and please subscribe to the Universal Man 002 channel. You know, and Taniyama, whoever says you're the samurai of the 21st century, believe it's so. I am the cowboy of the 21st century. I have been spoken to you in there. Write me a comment also. Goodbye and peace out.